A couple people have asked how we can be incarnate in more than one body at the same time.
Well, I think part of it is you folks tend to think of yourselves as isolated beings, that you're, driving one body around on this planet like little cars, and that's your life. But truth is, you are an ecosystem on this planet. You're all interconnected. Your bodies belong to the earth. It carries the DNA lines of the earth and of your ancestors. And in that way you are all one with this planet. But your souls are like suns. The light shines from your soul into incarnation, just like a tree pulls the light of the sun through its leaves and creates manifestation. So your physical bodies pull the light from your soul through the cells, and you create physical manifestation this way. And if you look out and you see that sun, there's lots of trees that can bring the light of that sun through their leaves. Same with you. For many of you who have evolved a lot of lifetimes on this planet, trying to contain your light into one physical expression is simply not enough. So for many of you, you're finding yourselves to fulfill your expression and to fulfill your desires on the earth plane. Many of you are finding that you have needed to find yourselves expressing in a few different expressions at once. You could think of it like one life simply could not contain all that you wanted to do. And so there are souls who have purposely and intentionally decided to incarnate in a few different bodies at once so that they could fulfill what their quest is, what their desire is. Some souls have found that through the course of incarnation, where there's been tragedy, where there has been rejection of self, where there's been trauma, you could think of it there as light getting what we'd call fragmented. So think of all of your light as being incredibly creative force, incredibly creative energy. If through shock you have pushed some of your light into unconscious or forgetfulness, if through self-hatred you have pushed some of your light into unconsciousness, or for some there's been a belief system that you're trimming your light and cutting off parts of yourself you don't like. But what happens is that energy goes into denial, you see. So the self-hatred can push light out into denial. But if there's enough light, that light can take form, can have life. But quite often you will find where life is granted to denied light, to aspects of self you don't like, light will take form in places of great poverty, great misery, that will be an absolute reflection of how your parental soul treated that aspect of light. So there's an awful lot of light incarnate on this planet with not a lot of consciousness. And if you follow the lines of that light back, you will find aspects incarnate with a strong sense of entitlement, strong sense of feeling that, they are better than anybody else. And you can see these other aspects incarnate who are living out that feeling and that expression of not having enough, not being enough, not having the potential, not having the experience, not having the food even, or the love necessary. all over your world, you can see each lifetime as being a reflection of a particular soul intention or a particular soul denial. Wherever you see misery, wherever you see pain, wherever you see suppression, wherever you see intense poverty, addiction, so many of the horrors of the earth, you will see aspects of light that have been forced out, pushed out, whether through trauma or self-hatred, from a soul. So there's different ways that this has begun on the earth, and there's different ways that this has been projected. As we say, there are some here, it's simply the idea that, I have so many things I want to experience and so many ideas I want to try out, and I want to see how will I do in this culture with that idea, how will I do with the support here, will I be able to make it if I try really hard, even in the worst conditions. And you'll see souls like that born with a lot of vibrancy, a lot of spark, a lot of ambition, a lot of light, and then you'll see other areas where it seems the person is dulled, not a lot of light coming through, not a lot of energy coming through, and you can tell the difference there. Part of your work here on the earth plane is to recognize you really are all one. You really are all interconnected. So if there is somebody who is suffering on one part of the world and living in abject poverty and depression, it very well may be part of your own soul that is waiting to be reclaimed in love, waiting to be cared for and respected by the other part of the soul. Other times you'll see folks that can be born in the very worst conditions, and you wonder, how did they survive and come out of there and make so much of themselves? There you're looking at a soul that came in with enough light and self-acceptance to be able to pull that particular body out of that situation. Quite often we see folks who will choose to be born into very upsetting situations, dysfunctional family systems, abusive family systems, as a way to pull those DNA lines and pull their light out of that kind of situation. Such a soul as that may also have incarnations in places that are a little more supportive too. So you'll see a balance if you think of your soul as expressing as an ecosystem. Then you can look and see, where all am I? Many of you have flashes throughout your days. Sometimes in your dreams you'll have flashes, and you'll see or experience situations. Some of you who have done regression work get confused and wonder, but it looks like the same time period. Well, you've done a piece that's landed you in one of your other expressions on Earth. And that's just on this planet. Because one of the things that we've talked about in other CDs, like Civilizations of the Universe and Beyond, is that you also have your light streaming into physical incarnation in other universes and on other planets and other dimensions as well. You are children of the Creator. What that means is that you are outside of time and place, streaming into time and place, into manifestation throughout the multi-universes. There's a lot more than any of you are aware, a lot more to you and a lot more available to you. For everywhere your light is expressed, throughout time and throughout place, your soul has access to the knowledge, the information, and the experience, and the sensations of those experiences, they all become part of your soul, part of who you are. There is no one who is lesser or greater. There are just lesser expressions who are not given as much love and not given as much support. And there are greater expressions that have been given a lot of support and have accepted that. So yes, you all have aspects of you incarnate all over. None of you have only one expression in one place and one time. None of you. You are all multi-dimensional beings, and I mean that literally.
Thanks, Red, for that. That certainly clarifies things. If you're interested in further teachings on this subject or many others, please visit us at hereonearth.ca.